Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you inside the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. It's your Northern Arizona Wranglers squaring off against, once again, those Arizona Rattlers. Ed, we're pleased to be joined here inside the broadcast booth. My partner, Ed Cole. Ed, another showdown tonight, but tonight it's for all the marbles, my friend.
Yes, it is. Round 4.
Yes.
Wranglers and Rattlers. It's been a series. This is the third time that these two teams will have met in this very building, a magnificent building. By the way, we want to thank Brandon Duenas, the manager of media relations, and the Arizona Rattlers, for this view.
Gorgeous look for you here inside the Footprint Center.
So that's why we're 10 minutes late, because we had to move up to the press, move up to this suite to get set up. So we apologize for being late.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoy the outstanding view we got here for you. And more than that, we got a really good football game here tonight. We talked about it for all the marbles. It's do or die tonight here. One team's going to come out victorious, and one team's going to go home a little bit disappointed here tonight.
It is. That is the thing about football, especially the IFL playoffs. It's win and move on, lose, your season's over. So for one of these teams tonight, in a matter of hours, their season will be over. And for the other team, they'll move on to the Western Conference Championship to face either Tucson or Bay Area next weekend.
A little bit of deja vu, if you will. We were just here last Saturday night right here inside the Footprint Center.
Basically.
A little bit lower down there in the media area right there. Trying to get my bearings here again. Section 102 right there. And they moved us up here into the suite tonight. Yeah, let me get out of the way. So there you go. Right
over there.
Right over there.
Over there.
Exactly right. Section 102. We even got a built-in telestrator for you here tonight,
yeah.
folks. Good stuff. But I'm excited to see how this Wranglers team responds after last week's game. They were in the ball game in that third quarter, Ed, as you both, as you know as well as I do. But just couldn't get over the hump. So definitely a beatable team in the Arizona Rattlers, but you got to be playing really good football here tonight.
And here's the thing. Both times this team came down here to play the Rattlers jumped out on them. Last week, they jumped out to a 35-8 lead. Nick Watson threw the touchdown to Glenn Gibbons Jr., got them an 8-0 lead, and then that's when the floodgates opened up for Arizona. They scored 35 straight points. We'll check the recap right here. This is actually from the first game here in Footprint Center. That was a forgettable game too, wasn't it, JP? 60-34.
It was indeed. But you know what? It's a whole new ball game here tonight, Ed. The best part of it, it's 0-0 when this thing kicks off, and it's anybody's ball game.
Absolutely. So in about 2.5, 3 hours, we will find out which one of these teams will advance to the Western Conference Championship. But yeah, we're just looking at these highlights from the first game. Again, a forgettable game. The Wranglers lost by 26. Losing 60-34. It's very hard to win in this building, especially when you turn the ball over and then you let Drew Powell and that offense get up and they get rolling like they did last week. You score 35 straight points after you're up 8-0. It's very hard to come back against this Rattlers team.
It is indeed, and you talked about it last week when we got started. The Wranglers got to come out and get off to a fast start, and they got to do that here again tonight. They did it last week against these Rattlers, but then the Rattlers responded, to say the least, and rattled off quite a few points there in a row.
It was impressive to see Nick Watson throw 4 touchdowns in the second half, threw for 5 for the entire game last week, folks. But you can't let your offense go stagnant like they did last week, James. Yes. You go up 8-0, and then Drew Powell and the Rattlers just go off and score 35, and you're down 35-8. Connor Mangan kicks a 30-yard field goal that makes it 35-11, tightens it up a little bit, at least by 3 more points.
Yes,
gets you down to a 24-point deficit. But still, you cannot go down that many points in this building against Powell and these Rattlers who've won 8 in a row. They're playing their best football right now. And if you go down like that again, I don't know what the chances are for the Wranglers to come back and win the game tonight if that happens.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be playing catch up against this Arizona Rattlers team tonight, and that's why it's imperative that this Wranglers defense get off to a quick start as well defensively and really get after Powell and the Rattlers offense.
James, that's going to be hard going against the number 1 offense in the league. This team's averaging about 55 points a game. Every single game they played against the Wranglers this year, they've scored 55 or more points. So it's just the offense that the Rattlers have with Powell at quarterback. That is what they do. They score points. So what the defense has to do, the number 2 ranked defense in the league, they've got to play airtight, about as perfect a game as you can play against Powell in that offense, because anything less than that, you're looking. It may come out with disastrous results, James. I don't know.
You know what? The Wranglers are up for the task, I believe, Ed. Tonight.
Oh, I know.
They played really well last week against the Rattlers, especially in that third quarter. I was proud of the way they were able to come out of the halftime break and really respond and get themselves back into the football game. Because let's face it, there was a couple times last week where they could have easily folded the tent and went back up to Prescott Valley.
Yeah, but this team does not do that. Under Les Moss coach team, they do not give up, no matter what the score is. If you're down 24 at the half, you go in to make the proper adjustments, and that's what you do. And you come out like you did last week. And Nick Watson throws 4 touchdowns. You get an onside kick recovery, and the momentum swings back toward you. but then you've got the other guy on offense. You got the other guy on the other side. Number one, he's the ultimate rally killer, and that's what Drew Powell does. He just comes back, drives his guys down the field, they score, and then, just at that point, you're down 24. You cannot trade score for score with the Rattlers if you expect to win a football game.
You absolutely cannot have a track meet with these guys, that's for sure. You see right there on the highlights, that was when they came up to visit us up at Prescott Valley.
Oh, what a game that was.
That was a shootout, to say the least. That one going to overtime up there inside the barn.
Two
Double
OTs.
overtime. And the Rattlers coming out with the win there as well. But I think these Wranglers should have a good plan up their sleeve tonight for these Rattlers. I mean, when you see a team
hopefully
three
I'm
times
playing like that with Ryan Wisniewski, yes.
That would be great.
I'm playing with
I'd like
Gibbons
to see
Jr.
some of that as well. A little
Yes.
bit more run game with GG or even Jared Ware Jr. getting involved tonight
Absolutely.
with this offense.
Absolutely. Jared Ware Jr., when he came back, he's electrifying. He is a major piece of this offense that makes the offense run. We saw a couple weeks ago, this team put up 150 yards on Massachusetts.
Yes.
If you can run the ball consistently against the Arizona Rattlers, keep Powell and that offense off the field, that is one of the keys to victory tonight. If you can keep Drew and that offense off the field, force some turnovers. We know the guy barely turns the ball over, but you've got to force him into turnover situations tonight, James.
Well, it's all about that defensive line, getting pressure, getting penetration, getting through that Rattlers offensive line, and then getting in there to Drew Powell and forcing him off the spot, as we say, making him uncomfortable, and then forcing maybe some of those throws that may turn into interceptions.
Yes, as difficult as that is, because that offensive line for Arizona is stout. They're strong, they're big, but the defensive line for the Wranglers, arguably the best defensive line in the league, they can make it happen. Theo Majette, Armonte Carey, Tremont Lofton, all of those guys. You bring in Kerry Starks, one of our newer additions at linebacker, Justin Wisenhunt. Those guys up front, they've got to wreak havoc tonight, James. They've got to put pressure on Drew on pretty much every single play.
And I really want to see this offense get off to a fast start as well. And I like the fact that they came out here last week in this very same building and started taking shots right away in the football game and didn't wait. They started attacking on offense.
Because Drew's going to do the same thing.
Right.
He's going to do the exact same thing. Try to attack this Wranglers secondary. That's what he does. That's what the Rattlers do. So if the Rattlers are going to do it, you have to fight fire with fire, especially in the playoffs when you've got 4 quarters of football. You've got 60 minutes of football to determine if your season continues on or if it's over and you go home for the summer.
And 60 minutes will decide things here tonight in this round 1 IFL Western Conference playoff matchup between your Northern Arizona Wranglers and these Arizona Rattlers. A great rivalry, you could say, has been built here between these two teams over these last couple seasons, Ed, and really good stuff to see the quality football being played here in the state of Arizona. We talked about it, all 3 teams once again this season making the IFL playoffs.
It is wonderful. Tucson's going to play Bay Area tomorrow night in the other game that's out in the Western Conference, but for having all 3 teams in Arizona in the playoffs, in the IFL playoffs, again, that just speaks to the volume, to the level of talent in this state that all 3 football teams can make the playoffs and fight for a championship.
Yes, indeed. We're about ready to walk you up the kickoff here between your Northern Arizona Wranglers and these Arizona Rattlers. Stay with us. We'll take a short commercial timeout and get you ready for the national anthem and the subsequent kickoff of the Rattlers and the Wranglers. Stay with us here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel.
Hit those commercials, James.
Hit it. Let me scroll down here a little bit, Ed.
You got it.
And
that's funny. Desert Schools changed their name.
Yeah, now it's Desert Financial.
Alice Cooper! Wait, what are you doing here?
I'm telling everyone, school's out.
For summer?
Forever.
Whoa! Whoa!
Dude, put your card in.
You got a voice, Molly. Use it. Do it for the phone.
Let's do it for the phone. They do so much for you. When they're out there all alone, there's something we can do. T-Mobile, look at these maps, they don't lie. And faster speed.
Welcome back to Sweet B20 here at Footprint Center. Ed Cole, James Poovey, your Wranglers broadcast team. We are here for Wranglers Rattlers Part 4, Round 1 of the Indoor Football League playoffs, the semifinals. James, this is going to be knock down, drag him out. We use all the same terms every single game, a slobber knocker, whatever you want to do to describe it. This is playoff football, and it's going to be great between two Arizona rivals.
It really is, and that's one aspect of the game that we didn't talk about in the earlier portion of the pregame here, Ed, is the physicality put on display by both these teams last week. They were hitting each other fiercely all over the football field, and you could almost feel it up in the press box.
Oh, goodness, yes. We felt it up in the press box.
Yeah.
We heard quite a few of those hits, helmets on pads and pads on helmets. It is just that kind of football when the Wranglers and the Rattlers get together. It is that kind of physicality, and I expect nothing less than that tonight with a chance, with a trip to the Western Conference Championship and potentially a trip to Henderson, Nevada for the championship game on August 5th on the line. Everybody's going for broke tonight.
Can you believe that is just a few short weeks away until things are going on once again inside the Dollar Loan Center for the IFL National Championship? It was exciting last year. You know it's going to be exciting again this year, and both these teams just a couple short weeks away from that.
You're reading my mind, weren't you?
Yes.
I was trying to remember back a year ago when we went to Henderson to go up against Quad City. That was a great week for us to win the championship, but it's going to be hard for the Wranglers to continue on. They've got to do everything that's necessary, almost perfect again, to vanquish Drew Powell and the Rattlers in their building. You got to play almost perfect. Offense, defense, special teams. We'll see what Dropkick Mangan has in store tonight, because he's going to be a big part of what happens tonight.
He will indeed. One of our secret weapons, if you really talk about it, and the ability to come in and get extra points, no pun intended, pun intended, I guess. Ed.
Yeah.
Get extra points when you can here in a football game, and then when it comes down to the playoffs, when everything is even tighter to begin with, that can really be the difference maker down the stretch.
A talent like Dropkick Mangan, you don't see in the Indoor Football League, because nobody else has somebody that does drop kicks like Dropkick Mangan does. He comes in, drop kicks and extra points, and he drop kicks on deuces, on kickoffs, and he's great on the onside kicks, which I'm sure Coach Moss has probably got quite a few lined up tonight, depending on what happens and how the game flows out. But Dropkick Mangan is going to be a major part of what the Wranglers do tonight.
He will indeed. And we encourage you to get over to the IFL YouTube channel here in just a little bit. As you can see, things getting ready for kickoff just over about 10 minutes from now here inside the Footprint Center. We're going to take a very short timeout once again here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. Come back with some final thoughts as we get ready for kickoff here between your Northern Arizona Wranglers and those Arizona Rattlers. Doesn't Ed look good? Stay with us here.
Yes, he does.
We'll be right back.
There's a little piece of magic in the heart of the Verde Valley, where adventure is encouraged. Whether you're whining and dining, rocking and rolling, or pushing and pulling, it's your adventure. Play however you choose.
Who's to say you don't have the skills to reach the top? Who's to say you don't have power?
This is how we do it. Time to run it up. This is how we do it for the top.
Who's to say you can't own the stage? Who's to say you can't put a team together? Who's to say who's best? The best ever? Or who will be in the future? And with this game-changing team to inspire us, who's to say what's possible for you? Pepsi, play to inspire.
We welcome you back here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel, the pregame show on the air. James Poovey coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, walking you up to Wranglers and Rattlers. You can see him cutting the lights. Everybody's about to come onto the field. Final thoughts, Ed, as we get ready for kickoff here and get ready to send folks over to the IFL YouTube channel for the call of the game tonight with Floyd Simmons and Dale Hillestrate.
Another key to victory for me is for the guys to stay loose. We know there's going to be butterflies going through every single player that's on the field, whether it's the Wranglers or the Rattlers. For the Wranglers, that's really all we care about. The Wranglers, just go out there, calm down, do what you have done your entire life. This football is what you've done your entire life. You practiced, you busted your butt to get to this point to fight for a championship. You're 60 minutes away from the Western Conference Championship. Just go out and execute and just let the chips fall where they may.
That's all they can do at this point.
For
They've
you?
made it to the dance. I pretty much echo most of what you said. They got to come out here. They got to get out to a fast start. You do not want to be playing catch up against these Arizona Rattlers. No track meet here inside. Play great defense. Sound fundamental football. I think we'll get a win here tonight for these Wranglers.
I agree.
Everybody have a great night. Enjoy the game. We encourage you to get over to the IFL YouTube channel now and enjoy the night. Call with Floyd Simmons and Dale Hillestray. And don't forget, come back here at halftime to join Ed and I for the halftime show. And then post-game, we'll be right back here for you as well. Hopefully victorious inside the Footprint Center. Enjoy the game. Have a great evening. We will see you at halftime. And as we always say, go Wranglers.